Morning, everyone. My name is Cassie, and I'm here in Oakland Park, Florida at the Urban Farming Institute with today's Chef at 11. So I am actually going to be making a recipe that I've never tried before. So this is going to be a first experience for both myself and for you guys, and I'm really excited about it. I know there's a lot of people that have been trying lots of different recipes during the stay-at-home pandemic times. And I know a lot of people have been trying sourdough, but the one thing that I would like to try to make today is kombucha or kombucha, however you want to say it. It's a probiotic fizzy drink. You can buy it at the grocery store, and it tends to be a little pricey at the grocery store. So for as much as I drink it, if I can make it at home, I definitely want to try that out. So there's a couple things that you are going to need to make it. You want tea. So you're going to have 6 cups of water with a couple tea bags and 1 cup of sugar. As you know, here at the Urban Farming Institute, we love our Roselle tea. So I'm actually going to be using that as my base. You also need a starter tea. So if you don't have the starter tea, you can also use distilled white vinegar. If you're going to continue to make lots of batches of kombucha, then you can also just leave a little left over and then use that from that one. So this is a little bit leftover kombucha from the first time my friend made her batch, and so I'm going to be pouring that into mine. And then last but not least, we have Scooby. And I don't know if you can see this. It looks weird, and it is kind of weird. So the Scooby stands for a symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's growing. It's live cultures. And so one of the things that probiotics or kombucha is known for is having that fermentation or those probiotics in it. And there's a lot of research out there that has shown that probiotics are really good for your gut health. And so you can get that. There's actually pre and pro. So prebiotics would be things that you could find in fiber. So inulin is one. You can find that also in asparagus. And then probiotics are these live cultures that we can grow here. And other products that have fermented foods that are good for your gut health include yogurt, because that will also have live cultures in it. Any fermented food. So sauerkraut is one. Kimchi is another one. Miso paste. And then they also have, it's called natty. It's a Japanese dish, and it's not my personal preference, but it's like fermented soybeans. And so some people really love it. And so, I really want to touch on these active cultures are good for our gut microbiome. And it's just like anything else, just because one thing is good doesn't mean you need a ton of it. It's just something that you want to try to incorporate in your diet and add to a well-rounded diet to make sure that you're healthy. A lot of research, too, has connected the gut to the brain and some other chronic diseases. So just another reason why we want to eat a varied diet with fruits, vegetables, fibers, and probiotics, whether it's through drink, yogurt, or any other fermented foods. So back to the kombucha recipe. You need 6 cups of water and your tea bags and 1 cup of sugar. You are going to boil that and then let that steep. You want it to cool before you add your other ingredients because you want the live cultures in this to survive. And so the heat might kill them off a little bit or harm the Scooby. So taking our Roselle tea that we already boiled and added our sugar to, this is actually nice and cool as well. Then I'm going to take my starter tea. So remember, you can use white distilled vinegar if you don't have the starter tea. And then last but not least, the Scooby. And I'm just going to drop it right in. And what's really interesting is that every time you make a batch of kombucha, your Scooby is actually going to grow. And so eventually you'll be able to share it with your friends just as my friend shared it with me. Now, last but not least, we have to let this breathe. So this is one recipe, and similar to the other one that we're going to be making today, that it is not going to be ready for consumption right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with a cheesecloth. If you don't have a cheesecloth, then you can use a coffee filter. You want something that's breathable because you want the air to come in and out so it can really start to get fermented. And then also it's going to get some carbon dioxide in it or like the fizzies in it as well. And if it's not fizzy enough for you, after it's complete and done cooking and getting all that good stuff in it, you can add maybe some soda water, or if you have a soda stream, or maybe you're like me and you don't like as much carbonation, in which case you can just have it the way it is. And so I'm going to cover it with this so it's breathable, put my rubber bands on it, and then I'm going to put it in a nice, dark, cool area. So I don't want to leave this out in the sun. So I'm going to put it on my countertop in the back and then just leave it, checking on it every couple days or four. So it should be ready in anywhere from 7 days to 2 weeks. The longer that you let it sit and ferment, it's going to have more of a vinegary taste. So it's really what's up to you. So this is my first time making it. Let's see how it turns out. I'm sure in a couple weeks we'll report back to you with our trying of our first batch of Roselle tea kombucha. So the next thing that we're going to be making today is zucchini brownies. And I like this because if you have kids, it's a great way to sneak some vegetables in it. Zucchinis are really versatile and kind of bland vegetables, so you can really add a lot of different flavors to it. And then, you know, I'm always trying to make my favorite sweets a little bit healthier. So this is a very simple recipe. Once again, another one that we're going to show you how to make. So you want to make sure that your oven is at 350 degrees. So I'm going to start with 2 cups, or about 1.5 cups of shredded zucchini. And you want to make sure you don't need to press the liquid out of it. We actually want that liquid. This is going to make our brownies really moist and fudgy. After that, you want your flour. So I actually used oat flour because I personally like oat flour. Also, we were just talking about the prebiotics, which can be found in oatmeal. If you don't have oat flour, you can make your own. Just take some oatmeal, stick it in a food processor or a blender, blend it up, and you'll get a nice powdered flour like this. After that, we have sugar. So some recipes call for 1.5, even like a lot of sugar. I'm going to use a little bit less than that. I'm also using chocolate chips in this recipe, which will add some sweetness to it. Of course, we have cocoa powder, a little bit of baking soda, and then I also have some oil right here. And so you'll notice we didn't even have to put eggs in this. So then I'm just going to mix that all up. And this is great because you can add it maybe to your banana ice cream sundae. So if you're making the banana ice cream that we made last week, now you can make a sundae with your zucchini brownies. So now you've gotten a serving of fruit and vegetables in one dessert. And then after I've mixed it up, I'm going to add my chocolate chips. I'm going to leave a little chocolate chip left over that I can sprinkle on top. So just mix them in. And zucchini is also a great source of fiber. And then last but not least, a drop of vanilla. So we're going to eye that out a little bit. Give it a nice stir. And now I have my brownie pan right here, slightly greased. And I'm going to scoop this right in. And then I'm going to pop it right into the oven. And you can use the toothpick trick to make sure that it's cooked. Now remember, they are going to be a little bit moist, which is great. I personally love the fudgy moist brownies. And then I'm going to take my leftover chocolate chips and I'm going to sprinkle them right on top. And now we have zucchini brownies. So like I said, it's great to pair with that banana ice cream or an ice cream that we made last week. And you can sneak a serving of vegetables in and your kids won't even know it. And even adults won't even know it because they're going to love the brownies so much. So make sure that you like us on Facebook. That way you can get all the up-to-date recipes and fun things that we're doing here at the farm. Also learning about some gardening, because that, you know, zucchini is something that you can grow in your garden. And that's one of the things that we really try to highlight is these items, a lot of times what we're using in our recipes in our Chef at 11, you can grow in your backyard. So not only are you making something at home instead of buying something that's packaged, you're making something with fresh vegetables or fruits. They are packed full of nutrients. It tastes amazing and it's good for you and a great way to eat healthy without being boring or having to eat just plain salads all the time. So thanks so much and have a great day.